evening and welcome to Icu Tv main news. We take a look at the stories making headlines. President Hichilema highlights major progress in education sector reforms. Police confirm death of teenager in elephant attack in Livingstone. ZNS expresses regret over fatal shooting in Chililabombwe. In our international news, thousands join Tommy Robinson rally as counter-protesters demonstrate. And in our sports news, Coach Kanyemba calls up 36 players for Zambia Under-17 Women's World Cup squad. With the news in details, my name is Chililabombwe Mlenga. President. Good evening and welcome to Icu TV main news. We take a look at the stories making headlines. President Hichilema highlights major progress in education sector reforms. Police confirm death of teenager in elephant attack in Livingstone. ZNS expresses regret over fatal shooting in Chililabombwe. International news, thousands join Tommy Robinson rally as counter-protesters demonstrate. And in our sports news, Coach Kanyemba calls up to 36 players for Zambia Under-17 Women's World Cup squad. With the news in details, my name is Chililabombwe Mlenga. President Hichilema has announced sustainable progress in the education sector, emphasizing improved access, expanded infrastructure, and increased investment in skills development under the Education for All policy. He says since the introduction of free education in 2022, over 2.3 million learners have returned to school, supported by the ongoing construction of 166 secondary schools and over 2,800 classroom blocks through the Constituency Development Fund. President Hichilema notes that the early childhood level 38 ECE hub centers are being built, while 222 others have already been completed. The government has resumed stored infrastructure projects in 8 public universities, which will add over 8,400 hostel bed spaces and new facilities for staff and students. The president further revealed that to improve classroom conditions and teaching capacity, 1.6 million desks have been procured, 42,000 teachers recruited since 2022, and school feeding program has expanded to 106 districts, reaching 4.6 million learners. President Hichilema reaffirms his government's commitment to inclusive education through continued investment in TVETA institutions, rural training centers, and youth skill programs like the Zambia National Service Initiative. The Ministry of Tourism has reported the tragic passing of a 16-year-old boy following a human-wildlife incident in Livingstone. The victim, identified as Onesmo Njamba Jr., a grade 11 learner at Mulwani Secondary School and resident of Dambwa Site compound, was killed by an elephant in early hours of 12 September 2025 around 6:30 in the cold storage compound vicinity. Initial findings suggest that a group of youths have been taunting and pursuing the elephant, throwing stones and shouting. Onesmo, who was reportedly at home at the time, later joined the group and was fatally attacked by the animal. Police later recovered the boy's body and transported it to Batoka Hospital mortuary. According to Nelly Banda, Principal Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Tourism, this marks the second fatal incident within a week linked to the intentional disturbance of elephants. She extended condolences to the bereaved family and the Mulwani school community, which issued a strong appeal, particularly to young people, to avoid provoking or harassing elephants, warning that such actions not only endanger lives but also hinder conservation efforts. Ms. Banda further states that the ministry, working with law enforcement, would intensify public awareness campaigns. She urges traditional leaders, educators, parents, and community groups to reinforce messages discouraging unsafe interactions with wildlife. The Zambia National Service has confirmed a shooting incident involving its personnel and alleged smugglers near the Konkola checkpoint in Chililabombwe on 11th of September 2025, which resulted in 2 fatalities. During media briefing in Lusaka, ZNS Chief of Public Relations Liaison, Brigadier General Mebo Mlenganyone, conveyed the service deep regret over the loss of life and assured the public that steps are being taken to prevent similar incidents. She offered condolences to the family affected and emphasized that ZNS is committed not only to protecting the country's borders but also safeguarding its citizens. The general highlighted the increasing tension between smugglers and law enforcement officers, noting incidents in which ZNS personnel have sustained serious injuries. One soldier was run over in Dola while another lost an eye due to being stoned. She emphasized that although the sacrifices often go unnoticed, security personnel face real dangers in line duty, urged the public to support those who protect the nation's welfare. Brigadier General Nyone also pointed out that the government, having officially opened a legal channel for the export of maize and mealie meal, traders should use these regulated avenues to avoid confrontations. She assured that ZNS would not obstruct lawful businesses. Brigadier General Nyone concluded by urging all citizens and institutions to respect the rule of law, protect national food security, and help prevent further loss in life linked to smuggling activities.
Our troops have strict orders not to open fire that may result in loss of life. To this effect, ZNS stands ready to cooperate with the Zambia police and other relevant authorities to establish the circumstances that led to this unfortunate incident and also ensure a stop to similar occurrences in future. As a service, we commiserate with the affected families, and Command is extremely opposed to the needless loss of any life, because our mandate is not only to contribute to the safeguarding of the territorial integrity of this country, but also to the defense and protection of Zambian citizens. It is important to, however, remind the public that ZNS has been mandated to safeguard national food stocks, a responsibility we cannot and will not abdicate. We have unfortunately noted with growing concern the rising number of incidences where individuals engaged in illegal trade dare uniformed personnel, show total disregard to enforcement officers to an extent of ignoring repeated warnings and in some cases even resort to.
We are now taking our first break. Please stay with us for more news after these local stories.
The Information and Communications University is driving the thrill for the nation in research and development. Enroll now for full-time and distance programs in the School of Engineering, Humanities, Business and Education. To apply, visit our website at www.icuzambia.net or call us on +260 211 221 662 or 0966 342 359. Sponsorship is available. Enroll now.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Fire guards Chief Chifunda's residence in Chama district. A fire has damaged property at the home of Chief Chifunda in Chifunda village, located in Chama district. The blaze broke out around 12:30 p.m. yesterday, engulfing a 4-roofed house belonging to the traditional leader. Chief's retainer Chibwelanguni reported the incident to Chama police station, noting that the fire destroyed several items, including the chief's official death stamp and the Zambian national flag. Eastern Province Police Commissioner Robertson Mwemba informed Breeze FM News that the full value of the destroyed property has not yet been determined. The cause of the fire is still unknown. Authorities have launched an investigation to uncover the origin of the fire. PS for Educational Services Zambia committed to inclusive education. Demonstrating the government's continued dedication to inclusive learning, Dr. Kelvin Mambwe, Permanent Secretary for Education Services, officiated a special fundraising event, the Blind Athon Walk held in Lusaka on Saturday morning. The walk, which started at Lewanika Mall and ended at Pinnacle Mall, aimed to generate support for learners with disabilities. The initiative served as a strong statement of Zambia's drive to create more inclusive, equitable, and quality education system that serves all citizens, regardless of physical or learning challenges. Speaking to a crowd of educators, volunteers, supporters, and stakeholders, Dr. Mambwe highlighted the critical role that fundraising plays in providing essential tools and services for learners with disabilities. He notes that the government continues to prioritize education from early childhood through adolescence, striving to ensure that no child is excluded. Dr. Mambwe commends Sisabella Saka Inclusive School for its contribution in complementing government efforts by fostering a supportive environment tailored to diverse learning needs. Representing the Director General of Zambia Agency for Persons with Disabilities, Rehabilitation Officer Ruth Mwangana Litebele expressed the agency's solidarity with the inclusive education movement. Ms. Litebele also points to the persistent challenges and societal biases faced by people with visual impairments, urging collective efforts to remove barriers and promote accessibility. Throughout the event, speakers emphasized the need for consistent investment, strong policy alignment, and programs that enhance access to assistive technologies and teacher training for inclusive education environments. The Blind-a-thon walk was featured testimonies from learners and educators who have benefited from inclusive learning programs, serving as powerful reminders of what can be achieved when supported systems are in place. As the event concluded, organizers announced plans to expand fundraising initiatives and deepen collaboration with local enterprises and international donors. The Ministry of Education reaffirmed its pledge to track progress, evaluate outcomes, and scale up successful models to ensure that inclusive education reaches every corner of the country. Dr. Mambwe closed the event by thanking all participants, partners, and volunteers for their dedication, reaffirming the government's unwavering commitment to build an education system that is inclusive, accessible, and high in quality for the early learner regardless of disability. You are still watching Icu TV main news. We take a short break, and coming up is international and sports news. Stay tuned.
Bami wamwene kukupa basofu ate gift ya wedding wewe
kabampo ga honto kweswako
wei
sebo bujiri bajita ko tihumbwa wa arwa kumumpa muzo
ale
they give one zo
basa sunu tusegelela akupobola nguzu ya mwanesu musanko yulage mwana mujende
tamdori ndira
honeymoon yansa yebo tuni kurya honeymoon ndete kuya kusaka ka kupange maloko mbo tuni kukara amije kuno mudaro lo bagamba kuti utaka kuti nantaka mihi mulusaka ishindi mubwa kitabaga ndijite claustration bagandi sibe buya baga kuhema jana
iwe amanyiri munganda mwana unkira mafia ngombe papeni na davombe muno
Lucky do you know me? Do you know my wife? Have you seen my wife?
Chiriku. Urefu atoka ni mochari mpiayo.
Maybe I should go to the doctors.
Bambira ma doctor tiwabora hipondo tu.
Ah.
Chikaringa byani bantu nawe chakaringa byani wo. Oh.
Chachiringo kumichiringanya pa mulesu wa mafuta.
Wow. I'm so impressed mura. Pesi ndari kwamba bakuti. Aya mahuta anonkira musimba. Imwe mwakasuba.
Welcome back. In international news, more than 100,000 people in central London have joined a march organized by far-right activist Tommy Robinson, which a counter-protest by anti-racism campaigns also taking place. Protesters forming the Unite the Kingdom march have gathered in Whitehall, where they are hearing a series of speeches from people including Donald Trump's former strategist, Steve Bannon. The Metropolitan Police said officers had been attacked with projectiles and had to use a force to avoid a cordon being breached. Meanwhile, thousands more gathered in another around 1,000 Met Police officers have been deployed in London, with barriers in place to create a steering area between the two groups. The Met said it had borrowed 500 officers from other for the day, with police vans from Leicestershire, Nottinghamshire and Devon, Cornwall. Still in international news, Nigerian pilot tests positive for alcohol after plane veered off runway. A pilot and co-pilot have tested positive for alcohol after the plane they were operating veered off the runway when landing in Nigeria. The Nigerian Safety Investigation Bureau screened the pair after the accident in July at the Port Harcourt International Airport. In addition, a crew member tested positive for cannabis. All 103 people on board the Boeing 737 at the time of the incident were unharmed. Air Peace, the company that operated the flight, said the 64-year-old pilot has been sacked for failing to adhere safety regulations, while the co-pilot has since returned to his role. We take a short break. Stay tuned for sports news.
Hello, the Information and Communications University, ICU. What comes to your mind when you hear of this name? Is it the beautifully architectured infrastructure at our campus? Or is it the amazing students that are always performing well in their fields? My name is Zimba Emmanuel, and I present to you Alumni Chronicles, a program that gets to look at all students that have passed through the corridors of ICU and are making an impact in society today. Join me every week as I sit down with former students and get to listen to them, what they have to say about life after they've been through the university. Remember, it's Icu TV every week.
Welcome back, and now in sports news. Zambia falls to Morocco in FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifiers. Zambia's Chipolopolo boys suffered a disappointing 2-0 home defeat to Morocco in their FIFA World Cup 2026 qualifiers match held at the Levi Mwanawasa Stadium in Ndola. Despite the loss, Zambia remains in third place in Group E with 6 points, while Morocco tops the group with 18 points from 6 matches, having already secured a spot in the 2026 FIFA World Cup. The Zambian team will look to bounce back from this defeat when they face Tanzania in an away match in October. Morocco's victory keeps them on track to conclude the group stages undefeated, with coach Walid Regragui emphasizing the team's determination to win all remaining matches. With this loss, Zambia faces increasing pressure to secure points in their upcoming fixtures to stay competitive in qualifiers. That sports item brings us to the end of the main news. But before we go, we take a quick recap on the stories making headlines. President Hichilema highlights major progress in education sector reforms. Police confirm death of teenager in elephant attack in Livingstone. ZNS expresses regret over fatal shooting in Chililabombwe. International news. Thousands join Tommy Robinson rally as counter-protesters demonstrate. And in our sports news, Coach Kanyemba calls up 36 players for Zambia Under-17 Women World Cup. Thank you so much for watching. For more news, stay updated. Stay glued to our Facebook page at Icu TV and our website at icutvzm.com.